Hello and welcome back to the vlog. So once again I was recording on this phone, and if you don't turn off the data, I have to put it on airplane mode because all the data and the emails and things that were coming through pretty much cut off the video. Oh, it's so annoying. So anyway, it was a lot to say in the last video that I just don't even remember now, but it is Black Friday and everybody is out shopping, I guess. I'm gonna go buy my hair to go get my hair done tomorrow. That's it. I'm gonna go buy some hair and probably some ice cream and get my hair done tomorrow, and I'm coming back home. I'm not doing that. So, I was talking about, so I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving and spent time with their family and friends. I did. I had good food, good friends, and I spent time with my mom. And we went to see Creed 2. First of all, if you are a fan of Rocky movies like I am, and I am, you know that boxing is really the side story in Rocky. There are so many other stories and lessons in all of the movies. And the theme throughout is once a fighter, always a fighter. You know, if you are a fighter in your heart and your core, that's who you're always going to be. Whoever you feel like or think that you are, that's kind of who you're always going to be. Like you can make surface changes. You can stop doing that, but at the core, whoever you've decided that you're going to be, that's who you're going to be. That's who you want to be. And we all know boxing is the real metaphor for the greatest opponent is yourself. You're always fighting yourself. And that opponent standing across from you is really a representation of yourself. That you are always boxing yourself. You're always fighting yourself. You're always in a battle with your own survival and your own soul. And you're always going to be. So Rocky movies have great themes and great stories, and the love story. I mean, I think every woman in the world would love to have a man that loved her as much as Rocky loves Adrian. I mean, oh my God, he was a great man, is a great man, but made greater by the love of a good woman. So, yeah, you want to believe that they're boxing movies, and they are, and I think that's the thing that they put in there for men to watch it. Like, you got to put something in there that men will pay attention to, because the rest of it is for women. You know, if you pay attention, the rest of it is really for women. So the point is, you know, they ran out of story with Rocky. I mean, at some point, Rocky got old and can't box anymore. So if you get too old, you just can't do it. So how do you revive Rocky's story? You go back and you pull out Apollo's story. And I really appreciate that. They did not need to make a black version and call it Rocky. They went back and got the black character that Rocky won the title from and fleshed out his story a little more, because we didn't really know Apollo's story. Apollo, you know, in the first one, him and Rocky fought, and I think it was a draw. I don't think Rocky won, but I think it was a draw. And Apollo was like, wow, this man went toe-to-toe with me, and he didn't fall. Okay. So that was one. And two, I think they rematched, and he did beat him. Three, Rocky, that's when Rocky's Rocky's trainer, Mickey, dies in 3. And that's when we learn Eye of the Tiger, the hear Eye of the Tiger song. It's like, so Mickey dies, and Rocky has to fight Clubber Lang. And I think Clubber beat him before, and then he has to go back and get his title back from Clubber, you know. And so this is when Apollo's like, you know what? I need to polish you up. Like, you're great. He's like, the greatest thing he ever said in the movie is like, you fight great, but I'm a great fighter. So he taught Rocky his way of training. And, Rocky did go back and beat Clubber Lang. He did. He wouldn't beat him. So the point is, that was 3. And then 4, and to me, Rocky 4 is the best Rocky. It had the best music and the best story. Like, it made you feel a certain way. Like, Rocky 4 was the best Rocky to most people. And I think it's the one they remember the most. Rocky was supposed to fight Drago, and he backed out. And Apollo took it. And that's when we have the Living in America scene, and this the great music, and then there's no easy way out, when Rocky's deciding to fight Drago, and Adrian's like, you can't win, it's suicide. And he's like, don't say that to me. And he takes a long drive, and you hear the music. Anyway, he goes to Russia, he trains, he fights Drago. But the point is, when Drago fought Apollo Creed, he killed him in the ring. Drago was being drugged. He was on steroids. So the way he was being trained was actually illegal in the United States, but it wasn't illegal in Russia. So he was being trained to kill. He wasn't being trained to box. He was being trained to kill. And he killed Apollo. He did. And if he dies, he dies. Like, we all remember that. It's like, I don't know it's like, did Dolph Lundgren even get jobs after that? He didn't do a lot of work after that. If he dies, he dies. Because you killed that man in the ring. Like, that's what it looked like. Anyway. So Apollo dies in the ring, they have his funeral, and we don't hear any more about it. Everything turns into Rocky avenging Apollo's death, and he did. He went and he fought Drago, and he won. So then, we have Rocky 5, where he loses his money, and he trains Tommy, and then everybody knows that Rocky trains Tommy, and Tommy's style is like, Rocky taught Tommy how to fight like him. So people were calling Tommy Baby Balboa. This is in Rocky 5. They were calling Tommy Baby Balboa. Okay? Tommy didn't like that. So at the end of the movie, Rocky challenged that fool to a street fight. Like, me and you outside right now, street fight. You gonna do this to me? I mean, Tommy was dogging him. I ain't no Balboa. I don't know what you talking about. Rocky's a has-been. He ain't nothing. And everybody's like, ooh, you better shut your mouth. You going too far. You can't talk against him like that. And so, of course, Tommy, big dog went run his mouth, and Rocky was like, street fight. Beat his ass in the street. In the beginning, Tommy got the best of him, but in the end, Balboa beat that ass in the street. And I love the part where the entire neighborhood just came out with like, Rocky, he was beating the shit out of Tommy. So anyway, it's like, at the end of the day, you are who you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much fame and fortune you have. At the core of who you are is who you are. He's a fighter. So you have that one, and then you have Rocky 6, and Rocky 6 was Rocky Balboa, and, it was just kind of whatever happened to, and throughout, in Rocky 5 and 6, you see this strained relationship with Rocky and his son, and the thing is, his son had to walk in his shadow, and his son didn't like it. His son didn't like the fame, he didn't like the attention. His son was a lot like his mother. And he didn't like any of the attention. And he didn't like trying to be an adult in this world. When everybody's like, oh, you're Balboa's son. Oh, you're Rocky's. Oh, come on. Oh, and he's like, I wanted to be me. I wanted to be Robert Balboa. And I couldn't be Robert Balboa. I had to be Rocky Balboa. And he's like, I don't want to be you. So, but finally in Rocky Balboa, which is Rocky 6, he snaps on his son like, I ain't holding you back. You holding you back. Like, I know it's hard being in my shadow, but I'm not the one holding you back. You can get out there and be who you think you want to be. So, that was Rocky 6. I like them all. So here we are with the Creed series, and this is their way of making Rocky black, but not making Rocky black. Like, there's so many movies and franchises that they've redone with black characters, and I'll say it again, you shouldn't have ever touched Steel Magnolias. Don't ever, 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 ever again touch a movie. I'm sorry. It was just too well done, by the original actors for them ever to put black actors in it and it'd be a bomb. It was a bomb. It was horrible. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't cry one time. And it was the exact same screenplay, but with black actors. And the greatest black actresses on the planet. Like, and it just didn't work. Like, sometimes things are done so well, you don't need to do it over. My point, A lot of times franchises and different things are redone the same way with black faces. And you're looking like you could have left it alone. I understand we're all trying to be a little bit more diverse, but at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and black people, we got the point the first time. We didn't need it to be black. We don't need everything to look like us. We just need some representation. Like, we need to be up in there, but Jesus criminy. So I like the fact that they went back and pulled out the black character and said, you know what was his story? And gave us the franchise again with all the elements of the love story and the fighting to be who you are and wanting to be great, and people saying to Creed that it's suicide and it's what are you doing, and him going back and getting Rocky like, you knew my father. You're the only connection I really have to my dad. Like, you and my mother are the only connection I have. And I have her to tell me about the man he was, but I want to be a fighter. And you know about that. Like, you know that thing, in me that's like my father, that's just like you. So this is why the little boy goes and finds Rocky. Like you knew my dad, and I want to be a boxer, and I want to be a boxer like him. And what can you tell me? Because the mother, anyway. Adonis is not his wife's child. Adonis was an affair, had by an affair, and the lady died. Adonis' original mother died, and Adonis was out there. So she finds him in an orphanage, and she raises him. But she finds out he's been boxing, and he never told her, and it's just what he wanted to do. I mean, he was his father's son to the core, to the bone, so... It's just, it has all the elements. It has the love story, the struggle to define yourself, the greatest, and then Rocky movies always have good lines. And then Creed 1, Rocky asks him, why are you fighting so hard? Why are you fighting so hard? He said, I want to prove that I wasn't a mistake. And I really wish people would stop saying that. And when that happened, that was 2 years ago. That crushed my spirit, because we do that a lot. A child born out of certain circumstances will say the father made a mistake. No, the mistake wasn't the father cheating on his wife. But the child that came out of that ain't never a mistake. Your birth is not a mistake. Maybe how it happened, maybe at the time it happened, or maybe even... Like my mother always says, I wish I had been a little bit older when I had you. I'm not upset about that. It didn't mean she didn't want to have me. She just wanted to be older and smarter. I get it. So, we got to stop saying when men make these babies with different people that they're mistakes, because that's all he had ever heard. His father made a mistake and he cheated and he had, and it's like, so I'm a mistake? And that's how he had been feeling. He had been feeling like he was a mistake. And he wanted to prove to the world that I'm not a mistake. It's not by happenstance that I'm here. I'm here for a purpose. And we all are. So it's like, we've got to be careful what we say. If men and women make babies under the wrong circumstances, the circumstances may have been a mistake or wrong. But that child that came from it ain't. The child that comes from it is an absolute blessing. It's like the women of Brewster Place. When Maddie tells her mother she's pregnant, she's like, that baby inside of you ain't no sin. The sin is in the fornicating, and God forgave you for that a long time ago. That baby inside of you is a blessing. So, we got to stop saying that to kids. We got to stop letting kids hear that, oh, my daddy made a mistake. And that's how he felt. So it was like, that was the theme of the first one. He had to prove that he wasn't a mistake, that he was supposed to be there, because that's how he felt, But in the second one, he had to avenge his father's death, and he did it. He almost died doing it, but he did it. The point is, if you are a Rocky fan, all of the movies are powerful and amazing, and they have all these great lessons that if you pay close attention, you will learn. And at the end of the day, boxing itself really is about strength and endurance and taking all the punches that life has to give you and getting back up. You may win, you may lose, but the point is not to get knocked out. So Rocky movies are fantastic. And I definitely, this is not a movie review. This is just how I feel about the entire franchise. But I appreciate so much that they went back and got the black character and gave him a story. Like, we knew some of it, but we didn't know all of it. You know, it's like when in the first one, people found out that he was baby Creed, he was baby boy Creed, and he went back to the black community. Child, people were like, yo, dog, hey, you Creed's boy. Yeah, like, he was a hero to us, man, you know. And, you know, you could say it was a little cultural appropriation there. You could say that once Rocky became the champion and took the crown from Creed, we kind of forgot all about that Creed was the champion first. You know, and we have all, you know, went around praising Rocky. And frankly, Creed helped to make Rocky. There's like a lot of things helped make him, and Apollo Creed was one of them. So I appreciate them making this black without just taking the story and now, you know, right, and now Rocky and Adrian are black people and the kid, you know what I'm saying? Not rewriting it like the original, but fleshing out the black character that helped make the series. Very appreciative of how this was done. Excellent. So I don't mean for this to be a movie review. You know, I'm a big fan of all Rocky movies. You know, that fight, that eye, the tiger, that be who you are, that the greatest opponent in the world that you'll have will be yourself. The great love story, the fact that our children feel like if we're successful people, our children feel like they're walking in our shadows, and we don't even realize how hard that can be for a child, especially famous kids. I mean, think about famous children of famous people. You know, how do you get to be? I mean, Diana Ross is probably one of the greatest singers and songstresses of her time. Diana Ross is one of the most visible faces on the planet. She raised 5 healthy children. How? It's like, how? Because everybody else who was just as big as her, their kids are messed up. That woman raised some good kids. But you know what? She did what she had to do for her career, but she was always put her career aside for her kids. Like, nope. My kids need me at home. If her children needed her, she was there. And they tell that story. Like, she only, you know, toured during certain times, and she only took certain gigs, and she would take gigs when they were on breaks or on weekends, but she would be home for them. So it's like, how in the world, like, and she does have a daughter that sings, and I'm like, and has a great voice, and really, her daughter Rhonda has a stronger voice than her. Her daughter Rhonda has a real good, but she's Rhonda Ross, Diana Ross's daughter. She's gonna always be. So she gets some play. She does. But she's not gonna ever get the play that she wants because she's Diana Ross's daughter. They're gonna always expect it to be as good as what Diana Ross would do. And we just, you know, what is that like? So, you know, I get it. I get the son in the movie, you know, feeling like, you know, I can't be anything I want to be because I'm always baby Balboa's son, you know, I'm always, you know, baby Balboa. I'm always baby Rocky. I'm always like, you know. So it was also great for Rocky to have Adonis in Creed because Rocky wanted his son to be like him and he didn't want to be. Adonis wants to be like Rocky and his father. He wants to be like them, and Rocky loves that. So it was like, now he's the trainer. Now he, you know, it's his story, and he's still in it, and he's still, you know, and there's this really great scene where him and Drago are talking in Rocky's restaurant, and Rocky's like, you know, my son's gonna beat your boy. This is Drago, and Drago was like, we put straight. Wait, I gotta say it right. Drago came to Rocky's restaurant and was like, my son gonna beat your boy, and Rocky was like, we put straight to sleep around here. And Drago walks out. So it's like, and then when they revisit that Russian Coliseum that they fought in all those years ago, Rocky was just sitting there looking around like, wow, I can't believe I'm back here. Like, you know, and like him and Drago do kind of a bit of a stare down, but they don't really talk, you know, and Adonis loses the first fight to Victor Drago, his son, but he wins the second one. So it's just so much in it. So I guess my point of the story, I don't want to run out of time again. Like last time I could cut off, so I can't stand this phone. My point is, if you are a fan of the Rocky franchise, yep, it's worth it. I love it. And great messages, great stories, great everything. I mean, there are 1,001 things that you can learn from these movies. I don't even think I've covered all of those side stories that were there. So it's just really fantastic. The only downside is the Creed movies have forgettable soundtracks. Rocky movies have soundtracks that were the bomb. We will never forget those songs. Like, we live by those songs to this day. I couldn't tell you one song off these Creed movies because it's all that trap rap music. And I hate to say it, but I ain't into it. So, they updated the music soundtrack, and I don't remember a damn thing. I don't know, what were we listening to? I mean, in the moment of the movie, it worked, but I can't... Ask me what it was. Like, can't remember it. Like, you walked away from Rocky movies remembering that damn soundtrack. Soundtracks used to sell movies. They don't anymore. So anyway, just wanted to give a little different review today, take today. And I guess it is movie reviews. And I'm not trying to be a movie reviewer, but, you know, we saw Black Panther this year, The Incredibles, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Creed. So these are the 4 movies that I really wanted to see this year. And they all have, you know, great stories in them. And I just appreciate, I can't say it enough, I appreciate so much the way they went back and got that story and fleshed it out. They didn't need to make up a black character, and they didn't need to blacken up Rocky. You know, they made it for black people, but by taking the original black character and giving us his story, we needed that. So go see it. Have a good holiday. Don't spend all your money. Thank you for listening. I didn't mean for this to be a movie review. It's just that I really love Rocky movies for a lot of reasons. And I just wanted to tell you that. I wanted to give you a little bit something different. I didn't want to come on and be always complaining like I'm complaining about my job all the time. And for me, they've given me a lot of hope and just a lot of good lessons. And I really do enjoy those movies. So, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend, holiday weekend. I'll be back on next week. And again, YouTube Teacher Christmas Exchange. Email me, rcharlton@outlook.com if you want to join us. Or comment in the box below. Thank you very much. I'll put a link at the top to the last video that I talked about it. I have about 5 or 6 people who said they want to do it, so let's do it. YouTube Teacher Christmas Exchange. Let's do it. Go see Creed 2. And if I were you, I'd find those Rocky movies and watch them. Great lessons. Have a great day. Bye.